Hi everyone, I'm Brian Pollack here alongside Pandhare. We're at live at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California for the Duke Chronicle postgame show. The Blue Devils season came to an end tonight, an 82-68 loss at the hands of top-seeded Oregon. Head coach Dana Altman's squad led the way with 5 players in double figures. Dillon Brooks with 22 for the Ducks led the way. A real team effort for Oregon. Their athleticism and balance was really too much for the Blue Devils to handle. They led for the entirety of the second half, pushed it all the way out to 16 at one point. Duke really never had much of an answer for Oregon.
Yeah, the Blue Devils really struggled for most of the evening. Blue Devils were timid to begin the game, really didn't drive to the basket the way they normally did. Grayson Allen really struggled in the first half, only had 3 first half points. The Blue Devils on the evening just could not hit threes as they normally did, 7 of 22 for the game. And really it came down on offense. The Blue Devils were completely reliant on Brandon Ingram. Ingram finished with 24 points, 9 of 20 shooting, but just could not get the job done by himself. And really, a lot of credit for that has to go to Oregon, a really underrated team throughout the year. Many people may not have seen, but they were athletic. They went 5 out and 1 in on or 5 out mainly on offense, and really could stretch the floor with even their center, Chris Boucher, being able to hit threes. And then defensively, Jordan Bell came away with a few blocks, and really that stretch at the beginning of the second half. They hit a couple threes, they stretched the lead to about 11, and from that point on, Duke was really out of gas and really had no shot at coming back in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Defensively, Oregon really had a great game. They out-rebounded Duke by 10 on the glass. As you mentioned, Jordan Bell with a couple huge blocks and some really big-time dunks as well. Emphatic alley-oops that really got this crowd going. A pretty heavily Oregon crowd, not too far from their home state. Chris Boucher as well down low, 6'10" center for Oregon, had a big game. Marshall Plumlee got into foul trouble early in the first half, and that really kind of affected how the Blue Devils wanted to attack early on. Grayson Allen not as effective against this athletic Oregon team, just 4 of 13 for him, only 3 points in the first half. He really struggled to get going, and the Blue Devils had to lean on Ingram as a result, but not enough help otherwise from the supporting cast. For Plumlee, the last game of his Duke career, a 5-year run, an emotional end for him after that. At the end, after the game, Coach Krzyzewski said that this team had earned the mantra of a Duke team, something that maybe some people had doubted throughout the year.
Yeah, the Blue Devils really fought mainly throughout the year, just adversity, depth. Even you saw big minutes from Chase Jeter towards the end of the game today, when Plumlee was in foul trouble. Jeter stepped in, maybe performed better than he has for much of the year. And the Blue Devils really grew this year. Had a lot of youth. Luke Kennard, Derek Thornton, Ingram, and Jeter, all freshmen. Thornton and Kennard still clearly have a ways to go, and they both had a rough time tonight against a really long, athletic, and versatile Oregon squad that maybe was a lot faster than they expected. The Ducks moved the ball up and down the floor very quick, pushed in transition, and they brought a little bit of full court pressure early in the game that may have rattled the Blue Devils. But overall, the Blue Devils know they just weren't themselves today. It was a tough loss. It's a tough end of the season for a team that fought very hard to get into this position, fought through the injury of Emil Jefferson, and fought through their depth issues. But it was a defeat that was largely due to the way Oregon played, led by Altman. Great game plan coming in to really stretch the Blue Devils out, and it was a tough uphill climb for Duke for much of the game.
Certainly, and so that wraps up the season. Duke, 4th-seeded Duke, bows out in the Sweet 16 to Oregon. They'll move on to the Elite 8 Saturday against 2nd-seeded Oklahoma for a spot in the Final Four. Oregon head coach Dana Altman moves to the Elite 8 for the first time in his career, and he'll try to take Oregon to the Final Four for the first time since 1939. Lots to watch there on Saturday, a big Elite 8 game. So that wraps it up for us. For Pandhare, I'm Brian Pollack. See you guys next time.